It started with a website. The day the Spoon Assassins ARG began, contestants were directed to two places: a link that led to this Google Sites page and a YouTube video of Dr. Percival Baxter Higginbottom IV formally welcoming the Spoon Assassins players. Struggling to find anything pointing towards a clue in the video, I decided to take the website's command as literally as I possibly could. I downloaded the webpage, zoomed in, looking deeper, and quickly noticed that the background was not as blank as it seemed at first glance. With some quick photo editing, a complex series of colored cubes came into view. At this time, fellow contestant Casey Macdonald-Risner and I entered into a tentative information-sharing alliance and discovered that although we both had unveiled the color pattern, neither of us had any clue how to solve it. After a few hours of fruitless searching, this pattern was revealed by the game master to be the first red herring of the game, and upon refreshing the page, the pattern disappeared, putting us back on square one. Having hit a dead end, we turned our attention back to the YouTube video, this time noticing a sentence in all caps sitting in the description: "Prepare to meet thy God." After a bit of Googling, Casey realized that the phrase was pulled directly from the Bible, specifically the book of Amos, chapter 4, verse 12. With this in mind, we began combing through the Google Sites code using Inspect Element, believing 412 or something else relating to the Bible verse would reveal a starting point for some encoded message. We spent hours searching and decoding random strings of code that either looked suspiciously out of place or somehow related back to the Bible verse, but it was all to no avail. Having already sunk an absurd number of hours into combing through the code, Casey and I decided to expand our alliance, officially forming the Dream Team on September 8th at 1:11 a.m. The text reading, "Look deeper," had been replaced by a single question: who took the picture? 20 minutes later, and I had stumbled into the biggest lead I'd had in days: this photograph. It shows a bomb disposal officer at work in Northern Ireland and famously contains the phrase, "Prepare to meet thy God." Clearly, finding who took this picture would lead us to the next clue. After a bit more digging, I ran across an obscure post on a British Army public forum, the quote, unofficial voice of the British Army community. On April 5th, 2014, a user named Swede Pigs made a post on a thread discussing the photo, claiming it was taken by his father in 1987, Bill Mr. Damage Williams. Although the Dream Team remained skeptical, we were unable to find a single other suspect who might have taken the photo. So, as always, we turned back to the code. After several more hours of combing through the spaghetti code of Google Sites, I decided to make a replica of the site in my own Google Drive, allowing us to make side-by-side comparisons of unaltered and potentially altered bits of code. Although this venture again proved unsuccessful, it gave me an idea. While building my replica site, I realized that you could hide pages while still making them accessible through the URL. This meant that if you could guess the title of a hidden page, you could type it at the end of the site's URL and successfully navigate to a hidden portion of the site. With newfound resolve, I typed every word and phrase I thought could be an answer to who took the photo into a Google Doc and started plugging them into the site's URL. My elation over figuring out this clue cannot be overstated. I had sunk well over 24 hours into the ARG at this point, as had many members of the Dream Team, and it was insanely gratifying to see everything come together. I celebrated for a moment and then got back to work. The text on the hidden page was a simple Caesar cipher, and just 4 minutes after announcing my success to the dream team, I had deciphered the next clue. In the place where Mun begins, surrounded by enemies, surrounded by friends, on a page vague with mystery, lies your next clue, a piece of history. We immediately zeroed in on the third line, believing the next clue to be hidden in a library book. However, a late-night trip to Hodges would prove fruitless after searching for several hours in the mystery section. We were back to the drawing board and instead turned our attention to the first line. We pursued sacred Mun texts, but a quick look at the edit history revealed none of the documents had been edited in weeks. After a few hours, we began to take the message in the riddle more literally. This would fit. The information board is right outside our meeting room, where Mun begins, contains information about Mun and other clubs alike, enemies and friends, and could easily conceal a single piece of paper with a vague clue pertaining to the ARG. The student union closed moments before I arrived to investigate, but as the night went on, I grew more and more convinced that my theory was correct. The next morning, the dream team sprung into action. With the cipher solved, all we could do is email Percival and wait. When removing all but the capital letters, the dream team's final task became clear.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of codes and ciphers and clues through friendship and betrayal and heartbreak. Spoon Assassins would not be possible without our brave competitors pushing the boundaries of what is possible. And of course, you, our dear viewer, looking for a glimpse into the world of the Spoon Assassins ARG. Now, as our time together draws to a close, I'd like to leave you with these parting words. Perhaps the real clues were the friends we made along the way. My name is Percival Higginbottom IV, and this has been Spoon Theory. I'll see you soon.